Hey, I'm David Wahl with Wahl Family Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. We just recently did a video on freezing pipes because it's really cold in Pittsburgh. I actually had a friend reach out with frozen pipes after filming that video, and he said, hey, can I have a little bit more information on how to insulate the pipes? So that's what we're here to talk about today. Your needs pipe insulation. Big box stores carry this. Walmart probably even carries it as well. The stuff that we use, you can see it's going to be pre-slit so that you can open it up, slide around the pipe. There's going to be adhesive on both sides as well, so you have to remove that layer, put it around the pipe. It's pretty self-explanatory for straight pieces of pipe, but later on today we're actually going to show you how it gets improperly installed. First I'm going to show you the way that I prefer to do it, so you're getting a little bit of insider knowledge here. So we want to open up the pipe, insulation, slide it over the pipe, get everything nice and tight. Before we get started though, this one's actually going through an exterior wall. We want to make sure to feel around here that there's no cold air coming through. If there is, you got a little bit of caulking after that to stop the airflow. Airflow and freezing pipes don't mix, so we want to make sure that we stop airflow. Open this up, slide around the pipe. The other thing we're gonna need is insulation tape. So this has an adhesive on one side, foam insulation on the other. We're gonna use this to wrap the corners. This is the magic. The other thing that you're gonna need are some zip ties. Super cheap. Don't be cheap on these whenever you're doing the pipe insulation. What we see happen is over time, this adhesive starts to fail, and then the insulation opens up, and you end up with a frozen pipe after you did all that work to try and insulate your pipes. So zoom in a little bit with me here, and we'll show you exactly what we're gonna do. We're going to slide this insulation over the pipe here, and when we round the corner, we want everything to be nice and tight. You can see that almost closes itself up without me even doing anything. What we're going to do is pull that adhesive off and force these joints together, okay? It looks perfect right now. I guarantee you come back in a month, 6 months, a year, it won't look perfect anymore. So we're going to take that foam tape on the corners. We're going to pre-measure it so it overlaps a little bit, okay? We will pull off the insulation backing and we will wrap that around the pipe. Now, we can't stop there because that insulation tape is really good, but the adhesive on there will also release. So the last step is to take a zip tie and you want to cinch that down. Now, don't go crazy because insulation works by having layers of air to block heat transference. If you take that zip tie and cinch it all the way down, you'll cut through the insulation and ruin the process. The other thing that I like to do is every so often down here is put a zip tie on. Again, these are super cheap. If you want to go every 10, 12 inches, that's probably fine. Again, it doesn't need to be super tight. In fact, if you do go too tight, it's actually going to defeat the purpose. Having a few zip ties on there like that is perfect. Again, we're going to go back to our foam tape when we're talking about terminating the ends here and pull that adhesive backing off. We're going to wrap that nice and tight around that edge. Get it nice and sealed up. And there you go. Now, if you want to be a true professional, trim those zip tie tails before you're done and you'll have some nice protected pipes in your hands. You have to have your pipes perfectly sealed in order for the insulation to be effective. Whenever you have a nice miter job on the corners here, what we have is we can see the plastic PEX in here. The PEX will expand and contract and typically will not split. However, the fittings that are typically used are brass or copper. Those fittings will 100% freeze and 100% split if exposed to cold air. So while I like how it was tried to be done nice and neat, when we have this opening and we literally have a gap in the wall right here, this leaves a huge opportunity for freezing. So we're going to go back to our foam insulation tape and some zip ties to remedy this situation. So this doesn't cost that much money at all. If you already have pipe insulation and you're concerned that you might have freezing pipes, I would recommend that you go through the house and you identify any areas like this. And if you see this, what we can do is get this insulation tape back in behind there and we can wrap that corner. Again, I don't trust this insulation, or this adhesive rather, to stay on there permanently. So what we're going to do is take a zip tie, and we're going to go around that. Now this one is a larger diameter pipe, so one zip tie is not enough. We're just going to pigtail one right on the other. And get that on there. So obviously you got to trim these up a little bit, but we want to make sure that there's no air able to get into that at all. In fact, this is split insulation along the back. The adhesive has already failed, so we're going to go ahead and put a piece of foam tape down there, and then we're also going to do some zip ties to make sure that no air leakage can get into there. Once we have that insulation tape on there, we're going to send a few zip ties just to make sure that the adhesive doesn't release down the road and that these pipes stay protected long term.